you've said that you like what you've heard from Shabana Mahmood, but you won't commit to support her in Parliament. Why not?
Well, firstly, I'm not sure she's even going to get it through Parliament. I think at last count there were 21 Labour rebels already, and we'll see how it gets amended as it goes through. But the truth of this is, I do not believe that any of this can realistically work.
But you could still support it and see how it turns out.
No, I'd support it if I believed it would work. I don't believe, with the European Convention on Human Rights being incorporated into the Human Rights Act 1998, and with our current judiciary, that it's going to be allowed to work. And I think she must know that too.
You've talked about how it looks to say you're going to take valuables away from asylum seekers, people coming here on the boats, but you won't say whether reform would do it, though.
No, we wouldn't. Look, do you know what? I mean, this is such a marginal issue.
Is it?
Oh, can you imagine if you took sort of, bracelets off a few people, what that would amount to financially?
So you're not going to do it?
No, I mean, honestly, this is not on the agenda. What is on the agenda is to say to anybody that comes illegally by boat, you will never, ever be given refugee status. You will not be free to walk the streets. And frankly, we've seen far too many harms, and we see them every week now, from young, undocumented males coming into Britain, and you will never be allowed to stay. That's the only message here that is going to work.
You heard in an interview with me, Shabana Mahmood rejecting your invitation, or saying that you felt she was applying to join your party. She told you to sod off.
Yeah.
Reply. What do you want to say to her?
Well, she seems to like swearing these days, doesn't she? She was using even stronger words than that in the House of Commons. Do you know, when she said, I couldn't care less what Nigel or Reform says, I mean, that is clearly absolute nonsense, isn't it? They care deeply about everything we do and everything we say. Every single week, at Prime Minister's questions, you sit there in the gallery, and it's a never-ending attack by the Prime Minister on the Honourable Member for Clacton or on Reform, and it now comes from the Lib Dems as well. They're very well. I mean, nothing that the Home Secretary did yesterday would have happened if they didn't see Reform as a threat, and I firmly believe that.
Shabana Mahmood is stealing your thunder, isn't she? Doing more to remove the pull factors for asylum seekers than you managed in 14 years.
Well, I don't think so. I think the Home Secretary is being very brave because she's clearly going against her party's wishes. But we need to sort out the crisis at our borders. I remember the last 2 years of Conservative government where we put in measure after measure to control immigration. Labour voted against every single one of them. What's interesting is that the powers she's using now for visa sanctions, she voted against them. She wouldn't have those powers if we hadn't created them. But as you saw, throughout the time of the last few years, we kept running into endless legal obstacles. That is why I've said we need to leave the ECHR if we're really going to control our borders. Shabana Mahmood doesn't want to do that, so while we'll support the measures, I'm not sure they'll work.
But the issue with leaving the ECHR, as everyone knows, is the Good Friday Agreement. That is a massive problem you can't ignore, isn't it?
No, we haven't ignored it, and that's why we have a 200-page report that shows that it is possible to leave the ECHR while still being in keeping with the principles of the Good Friday Agreement.
But that's not what Dublin thinks.
Well, but that's what we think, and we have to make laws for ourselves, not make laws for Dublin.
Aren't you doing exactly what you're criticising Nigel Farage for in saying that it would be easy to take benefits away from EU citizens, in saying it would be easy to leave the ECHR?
I have not said it will be easy to leave the ECHR. Leaving the ECHR is going to be a tough thing. That is why we're doing the work now in opposition, rather than doing what Labour did and just waiting until they're into government and then starting to think about it. We have started doing that serious work. We're the only party doing that serious work. Nigel Farage can announce all the stuff that he likes, but every time he is probed on it, his policies fall apart. Ours don't.
And Shabana Mahmood agrees that stronger borders are necessary. You think her reforms are going in the right direction to the extent that you'll tell your MPs to vote them through?
Yes, I do. I don't agree with everything. There are some things that I think are wrong. And I think will get exploited. I think she's made some concessions to appease her backbenchers. like some of the new safe legal routes. I think those may get exploited, but the broad thrust of the direction she's going is correct. And we need to support the government when they're doing a difficult thing that is right. And as you would have heard, if you listen to the Greens, Plaid Cymru, the SNP, and a lot of Labour backbenchers and, you know, whatever Jeremy Corbyn's party is called, all of these people were saying awful things to Shabana Mahmood and not being serious about the crisis we have with small boats.